All right, so today we're diving into a topic that's got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, it's a little bit sci-fi, a little bit real-world problem solving.
A little bit. What is Elon Musk up to now?
Exactly.
We're talking about Starlink astronomy and a whole lot of cosmic controversy.
That's right. And we've got a ton of articles and some seriously passionate blog comments to get through today.
So let's jump right in.
Sounds good?
Okay, so for anyone who maybe hasn't been obsessively refreshing their Twitter feed, what exactly is Starlink?
Well, it's basically Elon Musk's ambitious plan
Uh-huh.
to give the entire planet internet access through a network of satellites.
Sounds kind of cool in theory, right? I mean, who doesn't love faster internet?
Right. And especially for people in remote areas, it could be a game changer.
And this is a big, but there's a growing concern that all these satellites are going to mess with our ability to study space itself.
And it's not just about how many satellites there are, although tens of thousands is a lot to have floating around up there.
Yeah, it's starting to feel a little crowded.
The real issue is that they're emitting electromagnetic radiation, and that interferes with the really sensitive equipment astronomers use here on Earth.
So we're talking about radio telescopes, those giant dishes that listen for signals from deep space.
Exactly. Those telescopes pick up incredibly faint signals, like whispers from billions of years ago.
Wow, okay, so this is way more than just missing a pretty picture. We're talking about losing crucial scientific data here.
Exactly. Imagine you're a scientist, and you've dedicated your entire career to studying a distant galaxy, and then suddenly your observations are all messed up because of this interference.
Yeah, I can see how that would be incredibly frustrating.
It could set back scientific discovery by years, decades even.
I read an article about a study done by Astron in the Netherlands where they actually measured this interference, and it turns out the new Starlink satellites are even worse than the first generation.
Yeah, but 32 times stronger in terms of the radiation they're putting out.
Okay, so how is this even happening? Are these satellites intentionally blasting out interference?
Well, actually, no. And that's what's kind of ironic about this whole thing.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's not the communication systems that are the problem.
Yeah.
It's actually the satellites, solar panels, and batteries.
Yeah.
Just unintentional side effects of their design.
So it's like trying to listen to a podcast in a room full of humming refrigerators.
Pretty much. And it gets even more complicated because it's not just one type of object in space that's affected.
Oh, yeah. Like, what else are we talking about here?
We'll take black hole jets, for instance.
Black hole jets, refresh my memory on those.
So they're these incredibly powerful streams of energy and matter that shoot out of black holes.
Right. Okay.
Astronomers study them to try to understand how these cosmic monsters behave. But the signals from these jets are already incredibly faint because they're so far away.
I bet.
And when you add this satellite interference on top of that, it's like trying to hear someone whisper across a crowded stadium.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
And, you mentioned all those blog comments earlier, and people are understandably pretty upset about this.
Yeah, to say the least.
Especially astronomers who are worried that years of research might be jeopardized.
I can imagine.
But what's interesting is that even within the scientific community, there are different levels of concern about this.
Oh, really? So it's not as simple as science versus progress then?
Not at all.
Mm.
There are people who see Starlink as having the potential to be a really positive thing.
Yeah, and I get that. It's not just about faster internet for us. It's about connecting people in remote areas, places that have been left behind by the digital revolution. So how do we even begin to weigh those benefits against the potential cost to scientific discovery? Because we're talking about some pretty big things here.
It's a question a lot of people are grappling with. It is a tough one. There aren't any easy answers here. It's like we're looking at two paths, and they both have some pretty major implications.
And no way to magically combine them.
Wouldn't that be something? Unfortunately, no.
Hmm.
But it's not hopeless. It's actually where things get really interesting. There are solutions being looked at. It's not about picking a side. It's about finding a path forward that hopefully works out for everyone.
So less cosmic showdown and more cosmic collaboration.
Exactly.
I like the sound of that much better. So where do we even start?
Well, for one thing, SpaceX isn't just ignoring this whole thing. They've actually suggested some design changes for their satellites to try to reduce the interference.
Okay, so is shielding a real fix, or is it just a Band-Aid solution?
It's a solid first step. They're talking about adding shielding to the batteries on each satellite, which could significantly cut down on the electromagnetic radiation.
I read somewhere that it could be a 70% reduction.
Right. It's a huge difference.
That's like turning down those humming refrigerators from a roar to like a low hum. But would that be enough to actually satisfy astronomers?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even with the shielding, the sheer number of Starlink satellites is kind of mind-blowing. We're talking tens of thousands of them.
Hmm.
Even a little interference from each one adds up pretty quickly.
Like trying to have a conversation in a room full of people whispering, even if they're quiet, it's still going to be hard to hear anything. So any other solutions out there? Because I don't think the universe is going to compromise on this one.
This might be where we need to think outside the box. Some astronomers are looking into developing new radio telescopes that are less sensitive to this kind of interference, like noise-canceling headphones but for space.
One of the comments actually mentioned something like that. They were talking about using AI to filter out the interference.
Yeah, it's not as crazy as it sounds. AI is already being used in astronomy to process huge amounts of data.
Yeah,
We could potentially train AI to recognize the Starlink radio signature and just remove it.
like having a cosmic sound editor to clean up the data. That's amazing.
It is pretty cool. But we have to remember developing these things takes time and money and a lot of brain power.
And probably a lot of people working together, astronomers, engineers, people making policy, even ethicists all need to be on the same page.
Exactly. And that's actually one of the most interesting things about this whole issue. It's forcing a conversation about what space exploration will look like in the future, not just for science, but for society as a whole.
It makes you wonder what we're willing to risk to move forward and whose progress we're really prioritizing.
It's a question we're going to have to face more and more as we launch more stuff up there, because it's not just about Starlink, is it?
Yeah, what happens when every company, every country wants to launch their own mega constellation of satellites?
Right. Are we headed for a cosmic traffic jam?
Where you literally can't see the stars for the satellites.
It's a real concern. And it brings up a lot of questions like, who gets to decide what happens in space? Who makes the rules?
Yeah, it's not like there's a space police out there directing traffic.
Not yet, anyway.
So is this where those international organizations you mentioned come in? The ones trying to set up guidelines for responsible behavior in space?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a tough job. Space law is incredibly complicated,
I bet.
and these organizations don't always have a way to enforce the rules, even when everyone agrees to them.
So what can we do? Just sit here and watch while space fills up with satellites?
Not necessarily. And this is where I actually think those blog comments, those really passionate ones, are important.
Really? Even the ones that are kind of over the top?
They're raising awareness.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't just a problem for astronomers to solve. It affects everyone.
That's true.
And the more people who understand what's at stake, the more likely we are to actually find some solutions.
So what can people do besides, complaining on the internet?
Well, staying informed is a good start. Read up on what's happening, follow the work of astronomers and the organizations that are advocating for responsible space use.
Support them however you can, right? Whether it's donating or just spreading the word.
Exactly.
What about contacting our elected officials? Does that actually help?
Absolutely. They need to know this is something people care about. Make it clear that we want them to take responsible space exploration seriously.
It feels like we're at the beginning of a whole new era of exploration, not just of space, but of how we as a global society deal with these kinds of really complicated issues.
It's a big moment. It'd be easy to get overwhelmed to just focus on what could go wrong.
Yeah, I feel that.
But I actually think there's a lot of hope here.
Oh, okay. I need to hear this because right now my hope tank is running a little low.
Think about it. This whole situation has gotten people talking all over the world. Scientists, policymakers, everyday people are having a conversation about the future of space exploration, about how we balance new technology with protecting scientific discovery.
It's kind of amazing when you put it that way.
It's like a wake-up call.
A cosmic memo that we can't ignore.
Exactly. And this might be just what we need to start thinking more carefully about our place in the universe, how we can explore it without losing sight of the bigger picture.
It makes you realize that even as we're trying to reach further into space, we have to take care of things here at home, too.
It's about finding a balance, and that takes collaboration, innovation, and maybe a little bit of cosmic perspective.
And on that note, we'll leave you with this thought. What role do you want to play in the future of space exploration? Something to think about as we keep looking up at the stars. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, and as always, keep looking up.